All right, welcome back to WenMint. I'm your host, the Machinist, and today I'm joined by Carver de Medici, uh,
Hello, hello.
the man, the myth, the legend. What's up, man? Look at this. I forgot our fucking background. Jesus. There we go.
Ah,
Oh my God. See, can't do anything right. But yeah, today we're talking about apes on canvas. This is really fucking cool. Thank you so much for joining me.
yeah. Happy to be here, man.
Hell yeah. This is going to be cool. I honestly can't wait to hear more about this because I don't think people realize how much work go into these canvases because it's not like they're printed, right? Like these are hand painted works of
Yeah,
art.
yeah. Hand painted, oil on canvas. It's the real deal, man. We've got a couple of people on staff, and well, I say on staff, but it's all very loosely organized. But it's a team that works. So we got a lot of different people that have their hand in it, and it all comes together. But yeah, a lot of moving parts and very labor intensive, and that's kind of the whole spiel. We didn't want to do something that a lot of other people do. A lot of other people do prints and stuff, and they look great. I'm a
Right.
fan of prints, but we wanted to do something a little bit different and just go over the top with the details. And so that's why we've gone to great lengths to just go out of our way to be inefficient, I guess.
Well, that is a good way to say that you really, really love the customer base, right? Is just to be as inefficient as possible when it comes to the details. Now, before we get too far into this, people, don't forget uh, we're live on X and YouTube, so make sure follow on X, subscribe on YouTube. The new YouTube channel is still pretty new. Okay, we've been doing the Spotify thing, or I've been doing the Spotify thing for years. So there's a lot of followers over there, but YouTube is still new. So we appreciate, or I appreciate. I always say we because I feel like WenMint's like a big thing. But anyway, so go follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And while you're over there, check out wenmintpodcast.io because check this out, man. I know you're a fan of merch, and we might be talking about merch in a minute, but look at that. You can go to fucking Amazon, type in WenMint, and get a whole bunch of shit, even a useless pop socket that I don't think anyone actually uses, but it's there if you want one.
I
So
could use a pop socket.
there you go. Well, now you know where to get one. Just hit up Jeff Bezos, say one mint, and he'll get one to you for a very, very fair price. All right, man. So let's get right into this. Oh, and don't forget, people, there's a disclaimer at the bottom. All right. Don't believe anything we say, although we're not really shilling any coins or magical internet pictures here, right? This is IRL stuff. So I don't think the disclaimer really applies like it normally does. But still, don't listen to us just in case. All right. So here, this is still kind of new, right? So we have apesoncanvas.io pulled up here on the screen. So what's going on with this? This is still kind of under, it's being built up, right?
Yeah, it's under construction, but we've got some bare bones there. So what we're trying to do is just kind of create this aesthetic of being in like a cigar lounge, just really rich, good colors, good color scheme, but also just wanted to kind of show like highlight what it is that we do. There's me in a tux, right? So again, like I rented a whole tux just for like a night of taking pictures. But that's what we were trying to do, like create that look of the very upper echelon, the very elite, the very like luxury feel. So that's what we were doing. This is the first video we ever shot. It's in my office upstairs. I'm in the basement right now, by the way.
Oh, they keep you in
So
the basement too? Me too.
no,
It's
I this
okay.
this is our workshop. This is the like all the nice and good looking stuff stays upstairs, but like where all the work actually gets done is done here in the basement because that's just what my wife will allow. Um, Plus, the girls have a nasty habit of like getting in all the stuff, and
Yeah.
gold flakes would be everywhere otherwise. So so that was the very first video we ever did. The office is kind of bare at that point. Were just starting. I had no idea what we were going to do. The whole thing really just kicked off with me looking for someone who could just do an oil on canvas painting of my ape. And I tried a few artists. A lot of them said they couldn't do it. So it was a lot of trial and error to find someone who. Oh, do you mind if we keep that fan off? Yeah. a lot of trial and error just to try to find someone who could actually like make it work. And so we finally did. And I was like, this is way cooler than I thought it was going to look. And so I was like, you know what? I bet it would look even cooler if I put it in a like an old looking frame,
Right? Hell yeah.
put gold on it, and then, just let me just see what I can come up with here. And of course, trying to find like an actual gold frame is completely cost prohibitive. So so I was like, let me just see if I can just figure this out on my own. So so yeah, I learned how to do gold leaf for my own like ape, and I was like, that looks so good. And then when I shared it with the rest of the community, like people were hitting me up. They were like, bro, where did you get this? Like, can I get one too? And so it just kind of like started this thought process, like, hey, maybe there's a market for this. And so from there, I had one customer who like ordered 4 right off the bat.
Oh wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was great. It was great marketing, great word of mouth. And it was just a great opportunity for me to showcase kind of like what we could do. And from there, it just kind of like took off.
So when you started that, you said you were looking for someone to paint your ape, and this is just a
Yeah.
great match for Ape Society, right? Because it just has that feel, right? That distinguished kind of old. It's if the NFTs could smell, they'd smell like cigar smoke and whiskey.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
That's my opinion.
Leather-bound books and rich mahogany.
Hell yeah. So you weren't a painter at first.
No, no, and I mentioned this. When people ask, they're like, "Oh, you're the painter." I'm like, "No, no, I'm not. I'm the one who had the vision to like create this, but I am not the actual talent behind it. I have an artist on that I work with, and they prefer to remain anonymous, so I am not allowed to
Fair.
divulge their identity. But they and I are working together to create. So I can just say at least that it's a she. She does the paintings, and through a lot, like there was again when we first started, there was a lot of trial and error because it's kind of a hard look to match.
Right.
She was used to doing like portraits and children's paintings and things like that. But when I asked her to do this like cartoon looking ape, she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, can you paint that?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." So there were some complications at first, and some of the early ones didn't look quite right. So we had to do a bunch of like coaching up and trial and error, and just really try to get it to look exactly correct. And so that took a long time, several weeks worth of like all this effort going into these paintings that just don't quite look right. And so it was kind of frustrating at first. I didn't know if we were going to be able to get there, but eventually we kind of had a breakthrough, and we started turning out like good looking quality images. And so I was like, that's great. And then I do the gold leaf, I do the framing, I do the packaging, the shipping. In fact, I even do for every customer that comes along, we do a hype video for them. So I'll shoot like a hype video of their
Oh, for
of their
real?
painting, yeah, in my office.
That's fucking
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so I just and I ask them, I'm like, hey, like what kind of song do you want for your painting? Like what song speaks to you? Like what's your apes like theme song or whatever? And not just apes, I mean, because I do it for all the NFTs, for all projects. So people will say like, oh, like I really like this song, and I get some wild requests, but I do the best to make it work, in that kind of theme. Um, but yeah, it's cool. So like I'll do a hype video. I'll do the certificate of authenticity NFT that pairs with that painting, and then she does the actual painting, and then yeah, it's like I said, a lot of moving parts, but together it all comes. We come together and make it work as one.
Hell yeah. And that's one of the greatest things about what you're doing, right? You're not just making artwork, which would be spectacular on its own, right? People love these, especially the gold leaf. I want to hear about that and how the hell you learned how to do gold leaf. And that must have been an expensive thing to get good at. But it's the experience that comes with this, right? Because there's the painting, and yeah, you could just send a painting to somebody, but you really go over the top when it comes to not just these hype videos. I didn't even know about that, but the packaging for
Yeah.
these. Like, what exactly are these packaged in for anyone that doesn't know? And if anyone's interested in finding out more, you can join the conversation. We're live on YouTube right now. If you want to throw up some comments, like our good friend Jimmy Bones here. What's up, my friend? Thank you for joining us. And
What's up,
you
Jimmy?
can, hell yeah, Jimmy's the man. I used to live right next to Jimmy. He's still only like 15 minutes away. I have to have him come on a show one of these days. But you can head on over to apesoncanvas.io and make sure you're following them on X at Apes on Canvas. And there's a Discord now, but I can't give you everything. You got to do some work, people. Jesus. But yeah, so what's the packaging, right? Because people rave about this.
Yeah. So, when I think about a good quality product, I always think about like the unboxing of these products. You'll see it. I mean, people do it all the time with like, the new iPhone or whatever. They do like an unboxing video or anything that's like super hype. They have this like experience of unboxing it. And so I kind of wanted to harken back to that, where we just create this experience, like we're taking apart the package itself. Really is like kind of takes you on a journey. Well, it's twofold. The frames are fragile, so we kind of have to,
Right.
the postal service has done kind of a bang up job of like delivering these things. So we have to, really go out of the way to really pad them down. That's part of it. But the other part is, so the actual like package itself is, we've got the painting, we've got the frame. Then we wrap that in like a purple velvet robe, I guess is the drape or something, the best way
Oh,
to
wow.
describe it. And it really does a nice contrast, like the purple contrasted with the gold. It really makes a nice a nice contrast. So we do that and then wrap that in some like old school like packaging paper, like some just some regular brown packaging paper that you would see like old parcels being mailed with, and then wrap that in twine.
Hell yeah.
um
Now,
yeah,
this is, I just got to ask, because these are your prices here. And we're talking
yep,
about a frame that has 24 karat gold leaf all over it, right? A
yeah,
hand painted ape, all this packaging, right? The time for a hype video, because time is money,
oh
right?
yeah.
Let's be honest. And these things, I'm sure you're not churning them out one a night. And at these prices, you can't be making that much off this.
No. So the pricing was the other aspect of this. We've gone on a journey with that too, where we tried to peg it to a US dollar amount. But I only wanted to, initially, I just wanted to give like a use case for the society coin, because early on there wasn't a whole lot of uses for it. And so people were just like tanking the coin. And I was like, well, if they don't value it that much, I see some future use case for it. So I'm just going to try to accumulate as much as possible. But what I would notice is every time sock went on a little run, that's when people would buy. That's when people would put an order in, and then like the next day or two, like the price would settle back down, and it's like, well, they just got like a discount. So I would try to like initially peg it to a dollar amount, but that wasn't quite working. So then I had to go do some sort of like dynamic price model, which took me a fat minute to like come up with this rather intricate like formula. And that was well and good, but it just a lot of people still weren't ordering. So we finally got to the point now where I just said, you know what, we're gonna make just like a flat price.
Right.
And based on our previous purchases, when I was running like sales or discounts or whatever, this price is pretty in line with that. It's still as cheap as we've ever sold them, and frankly, this is presently at a loss. Like, I'm not making any money off of this right now. But that's kind of why I am doing it, because again, I still feel like I'm in the marketing phase where people don't know what I do and they don't know like what's going on with the project. And so what I'm trying to do is, again, like, give people an opportunity to get something that they really, really want. And again, it's the majority of my customers are apes. But I've done space buds, I've
Right.
done
You do
mallards,
anything,
I've done, right,
right?
like anything. I've done some ETH projects. So we've done like quite a few things, and my artist is very talented. Her range is like is huge. So like pretty much whatever you want, we can do.
That's
So
awesome.
that's yeah, so that's what we're looking at doing. But yeah, so these prices, I mean, they do represent a significant discount as it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, initially I was trying to shoot for like $1,200, call it
Right.
$1,200, and that's where I feel like even still, my profit per hour, like my hourly
Yeah,
wage
that's
would still be
more
around
than
like
fair. Yeah,
15 bucks or something like that,
right.
for all the amount of money that goes into it, or all the amount of time that goes into it. So you know, we tried to come up with something that was reasonable, but would still hopefully eventually, when bull market gets here, would start turning a profit eventually. So, but yeah, right now, with where AID is at, with where SOC is at, I mean, SOC is pretty stable. It's not gone down too bad, but in terms of like just trying to like recoup the time and the money that's gone into it, it's not covering the cost right now.
Yeah, but it will, in the
Oh
future,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's getting the word out, and people that get these absolutely fucking love them. Like, here's Professor Z, right? He's saying he's got an ape on canvas. They look amazing. Carver has done amazing things. Everyone that talks about these goes apeshit, in
Ah,
search of a better term. Jennifer Forrest, see, what's up, Jen? Sounds like some fancy packaging. I can't believe you do it all by hand. And it is that personal touch. Right. This is, and that's why I put that in the, our little scheduling thing there in the post and on YouTube. This is the most bespoke art service on Cardano. I don't care what anybody says. Right. And it shows that you give a shit about this community and you care about what you're doing, that you're not trying to charge an arm and a leg.
yeah, I mean, full disclosure, these are like higher end products. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're for the regular size canvas, the 16 by 20. There is roughly a tenth of an ounce of gold in that frame.
Oh, shit.
So you're looking at like $200 to $300 worth of gold that's just laying right there in that frame. So that just kind of gives you an idea of like, nah, man, we're not making any money right now. But I like you're exactly right. Like that's why I do it. Like I want very high quality product. I want that luxury feel, and I want that hand, like that hand touch, to go along with it too. I mean, some of these people might see like, depending on how fast the glue dries and whatever else, like some people actually will have like my fingerprint like glued
Really?
into the frame, and I can't do anything about it. I got a gold leaf over it. I mean, it's there, you can hardly notice it, but like, yeah, like that's the artist touch right there. Like you're not going to get that from some production
Right.
company.
Yeah, that's what makes
So
it special, right? This isn't coming off some conveyor belt
right,
somewhere, right? No
yeah.
two are exactly the same, and every single one has a ton of time and effort and love put into it, right? Gold leaf. I mean, how do you even do that? How much gold did you go through before you figured out how to do this the right way? I gotta
Oh
ask.
man. So my buddy is sitting right here next to me. He and I, my stepson, actually, we were the ones that first tried doing this one night, at the end of a shooting episode. And I mean, it must have been like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had gone through quite a bit of whiskey and some other things, and we were just like, all right, we got to get this done. Like, let's just go for it. And and we had like the lights turned down low because we were trying not to disturb
Jesus.
anybody. And yeah, like the next morning we woke up and we looked at it. We were like, that's awful. Like we
What
just
the
ruined
fuck
this entire
happened?
frame. Yeah, like this is terrible. So that was like lesson number one. And then yeah, like over the next couple of weeks, like just trying to get the the timing down is the biggest thing. Like it's not hard to do, but it's literally like finding that perfect window of time where the glue has dried to the perfect amount of what they call tackiness in order to get the gold to affix properly to the frame. If it's too wet, it's going to gum up. If it's too dry, it's not going to stick. And then when you go back over it, it's not going to match. So
Right.
you can tell that there's one layer and then another layer, and it doesn't look quite right. So it's the skill is in the timing of it, and that has taken us weeks, months to get down to anything like consistency. So it's taken a while, but I feel like we're kind of at that point now where we got a good feel for it. We got we can pretty much manage our time. We know within a couple of hours at least, like how long it's going to take us to do something. So whereas before we were like, oh yeah, that'll take a week, and it was like
Yeah, I got
it was
this.
like it was like a month. So yeah, it initially it took a while, but I think we've settled down and we kind of have our production. Yeah, like at first we didn't have anything in the basement, but now we've got like this whole like assembly line basically down here in the basement. If I could turn my computer,
Yeah,
I'll see
you
if I
got a
can show
bunch of
you guys.
stuff going on behind you there. That's
we got,
oh
we got
shit.
yeah,
Hard at
we got
work, man.
all this going. We got back there is a table that we do some of the priming on. Kind of walked away from the mic, so I hope you could hear that. But
Yeah, we got you.
yeah, so like we didn't have all this down here at first. We just thought we were going to get away with doing it on the kitchen table, but yeah, the wife shot that down real quick, and so
Yeah.
we were like, well, let's figure out what we can do. So then we were like, well, if we're going to do this, let's freaking do this.
Right?
So we went to Home Depot, bought all this lumber, came back here, and like I don't know, organized ourselves a little work area. So. But of course, you know, it's got everything else that normal basements have, you know, big screen, old school Nintendo back there, you know, ping pong
Listen,
table, you
you
know,
need it.
got
Best
it.
when you say old school Nintendo, do you mean like Gen 1
Yeah.
Nintendo? All right.
NES. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite game? I gotta ask.
So me and my girls are 4 and 5. They couldn't really get the hang of Mario, even though they really, really loved like the movie. So I was hoping they were going to take to that, but they didn't really. But they really find themselves playing a lot of Ninja Turtles 3.
That the Turtles Through Time one or no?
No, this is the one where they start out, you know, on a beach in Key West, you know, on vacation or whatever, and then Shredder
Fucking
takes
great
over
game.
Manhattan. So then they're like, oh, we got to get back to New York, and so they have to like get back there and save
Shredder's
April.
such a dick.
He is, man.
He really
Like
is. Like
the
what the
guy,
fuck?
like
Like
leave it well enough alone, man.
right? Like you got a
You already
cool
lost
hat.
twice.
Yeah, you got a cool face mask. Like, come on. You can't even pick fucking mutants right. Remember Tokar and Razor?
Yeah, right,
They're
right.
babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, people, don't forget, follow Apes on Canvas on X. And check out the website. And this is the best fucking thing, right? Is that it can be anything. Like it can be any NFT. Does it even have to be an NFT? Like, would you do
No.
people's PFPs,
Yep.
stuff like
Anything.
that?
So I had back in the day bank. If you guys are familiar with the bank project,
Yep.
they had commissioned a painting from us, and they basically were like, yeah, we just want to create like a banker type looking person with a top hat on, like a guy like in a suit. Can you make like a professional looking dude like that? And I was like, yeah, let me see what we can churn up. So we used a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
of
right
AI
here.
to help us. Yeah, right. So we use a little bit of AI to kind of help us with the initial image. But then, you know, like I said, I got a pretty good artist that works with me, and she was able to really make it look unique and proper and everything. That's what I tell her too. Like some people come to me with AI images, and that's fine. Like we don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But sometimes the AI just doesn't quite get something right, and so I'll be like, hey, you know, can you like fix this finger, or like put this branch over here where it's not supposed to be coming out of that tree right there? And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. So like we can use it as a good starting point, and then just kind of like work our way through some of the inconsistencies that AI sometimes gives you. But that's the benefit of working with like a real artist, you know, like you can kind of cover up some of that stuff and come up with these really good looking works of art. I wish I had one of my I got it. Well, it's in my Discord, but you probably can't see that right now.
Hell yeah,
But
I can.
I got a.
I am a consummate professional. Stand by.
There you go. Okay.
There we go.
Roll down in there
We're
and
in the
see if you can go to the
Discord.
ships. Go down to the ship section.
Ships on canvas. Oh
So,
shit.
like, so all those ships are AI generated, but she was able to like kind of make them look more proper, and so that's one of the things I was trying to do is like a little side project to do some ships on canvas, like those old school things that you would see like
These are
hanging
really
out and
fucking cool.
yeah, like in
I have
like some sort of
nautical shit
maritime museum.
all over my house.
Yeah,
Like this. Like obviously it doesn't have the frame like that.
yeah.
But we might have to talk, man. These look great.
Yeah, yeah. So those are all AI generated, but like I said, she was able to just try to like take out something in the foreground or like fix that wave over there or like
Right.
whatever. Like so it's kind of cool to be able to have like that as a good starting point and then just to be able to dress it up.
And look at that frame. Like it almost doesn't look real. It is real.
Yeah.
But looking at this, it's like, holy shit. And that really is impressive. Like that's all. I mean, gold leaf. I've seen it, right? But I've never really messed with it. I mean, that's like super fucking thin. Like that stuff just crumbles pretty much when
Yeah.
you're trying to
Oh,
deal with it.
it's insane. Like, and this is something that I didn't realize either, but everything has like an electric charge to it. So the gold itself, like you'll pick it up with your paintbrushes, and it'll like be drawn to like whatever it gets close to. So if you don't
Oh
have
my
it right
God.
where you want to lay it, it's going to stick to something, and you better be like you better have it ready to go, because it's just, yeah, like, and don't you dare sneeze. If you sneeze, over,
Gone.
game over.
There it goes. Oh my God. These really are fun. Who's this? What is this? The Ape Society Discord?
No,
I'm
no,
kidding.
I just wanted like a nice little bar scene of
Hell
some
yeah.
old salty sailors like letting loose, you know.
This is really neat, man. Hell yeah. Well, this is great to show, right? So it's definitely not just NFTs.
Right.
Anything you want done, and it all gets that super high quality packaging,
Yep.
right? It all gets the same treatment, and I mean a gold frame that was made just for you. I mean, where else can you get that? You can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one other thing too, I forgot to mention, we also had a found like a laser engraving shop somewhere. I don't even know where they're from, like a long ways away, because it took forever to get. But I wanted to get like a press seal, like wax emblem on every piece of packaging as well.
Right.
So so I got that, I got them to custom engrave a stamp to look like the original society coin image. So that took quite a long time for them to engrave it for me, but now it's here, and you can see it like on the actual Apes on Canvas Discord, or not Discord, on the X profile. That's the banner, the seal, yeah, right there. That seal is the banner, and that's yeah, that's kind of cool too. Like we thought that looked really nice, really refined. Again, that old school, like, let me seal a letter, that cannot be
Right.
replicated, that sort of thing. Like,
And it's these little, right, it looks like a little touch to
yeah,
people, right? They're like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. What a nice seal." Right? "Oh, that's cool. It's the old society, token." But the amount of time and effort and thought that goes into this is way beyond, right, what I think what anybody realizes, and that all goes into why this is worth so much than what you're, currently charging for. If anyone out there wants to get, an ape on canvas or anything else on canvas from Apes on Canvas, I do it pretty quick before this really takes off, and they're like thousands and thousands of dollars to get one because it's probably going to happen. Uh, and speaking of marketing, I got to bring this up. Right, there's no way to segue into this. Like, there's fucking Charles with an apes on canvas of him, and you see it in almost every video he does now. Like, that's fucking awesome, man. It's always right there, right behind his left shoulder.
yep, yep. That's good old Charles. We knew he was going to be at Rare Evo last year, because I think his office is in Denver. Excuse me. And so we said, well, if he's going to be there, let's see if we can just give him a gift. And some people had talked about it, like, oh, what can we give him? Like, and he doesn't really accept like NFTs or whatever. And
Right.
so we were like, well, we could just give him a canvas. And they were like, yeah, okay, but of what? Like, if he doesn't like NFTs, then, or not that he doesn't like them, but like he doesn't accept them. So
Right. He
since
doesn't
he
want to
doesn't,
look like he's supporting one
right, like
person
he's
or the
playing a favorite
other.
or something.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, let's just make him an ape that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's not an NFT, but we'll just take like different traits from the ape collection and come up with something that we think kind of resembles him. So we know he likes to smoke the occasional cigar. We know he's got that beard, and obviously the flannel shirt there. So
Yeah,
we were
look at that,
like,
it's perfect. Imagine he
yeah,
was wearing a red flannel shirt that day.
yeah.
That wouldn't have been more fucking perfect.
People have actually like doctored that picture up to put him in a red flannel
Oh,
shirt.
really? Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of funny looking, but yeah, so we were like, yeah, let's just make this for him, and hopefully he'll take it, and if he puts it in his house, great. If he puts it in his basement and never looks at it again, that's fine too. We just wanted to see if he would, you know, um, just appreciate it or whatever. And I think he really does. I think he really likes it because he put it up in his office and it's just hanging there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
right there. Like, you can
yeah,
very clearly see it every time he goes live. If you
yeah,
haven't noticed it, just look in the background. You can't miss it. So that's Charles. I didn't know he had a diamond grill. I didn't realize that about Charles, but it must be true if it's on a canvas.
yeah, yeah.
I
We
mean,
we just thought, hey, that was one of the most like that was a trait that a lot of people liked, and a lot of people like Charles, and so we were like, well, let's just give him
Okay.
all the things that we like, you know,
Hell yeah.
and yeah,
No,
give him all the goodies.
now this must have been, I gotta ask, was this like a super nerve-wracking thing to do? Like, I'm gonna make this ape and I'm doing it out of total respect and adoration for this guy, but is he gonna think are we picking on him? Like if you give a man a picture of him, say, hey, this is you, you're a monkey, that could go one of two ways. So I mean, obviously he'd like it, right? But it's gotta be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I was so it's funny because I was actually more concerned about the frame, since that's kind of my wheelhouse. I was like, I try to make
Right.
sure that all the frames are consistent and all the gold is consistent, but I'm not gonna lie, I took a little extra special time on that one to make sure that that was like super perfect, and
I'm
I
looking
probably
for
spent
mistakes. We're looking
yeah,
for
I probably
mistakes
spent a
here.
little bit more time on that one than some of the other ones, um, but yeah, I was just hoping that like that would come out really good. But it never actually entered my mind that he might get offended by the fact that it was a monkey.
Yeah.
But I don't for yeah, because like now
No, it's
that's a good point.
Cardano, it's ape society, though. I
Well,
guess in the real world, if you gave someone in the real world a picture and said, "Hey, this is you as a monkey, please take it. We love you," that could be weird. But at Rare Evo, Cardano, not so much.
well, even like back in the day, like when it first rolled out, when Ape Society first came out, like there was a time when I was like, man, like I like this, but I kind of want to like hide my screen a little bit if I'm on an airplane, like scrolling through the monkeys or whatever. Like I don't want people to know what I'm looking at or whatever. But that was just like when it first came out, because it seems like a ridiculous thing. But now that I've just lived and breathed it for so long now, it's just kind of like, hell yeah, I'm an ape. I'm an ape.
Hell
I
yeah.
am an ape.
And if you
And
don't
it's
fucking know, it's your loss, people.
right, right.
Right.
Like this is
Sorry,
this
sucks
is
to
the
be you.
future, like well, not I mean, not just apes, but just like crypto in
Right.
general. Like it's just, there was a time when I would just kind of like look around and be like, I'm into crypto, and just try to like be secretive about it. And you don't want people to like have that negative connotation, like, oh, you're a scammer, huh? And like, no, 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 no,
Right?
nothing
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
Like,
laundering money on the weekends, eh?
yeah, right,
Selling
right.
guns and dope. Actually, like my last shop, I just switched jobs, got a bit of a promotion at a shop closer to home. But there, like I was the production supervisor and head of safety, and one of them found out they're like, "So, you host a podcast about NFTs, huh?" And I was
Yeah,
like, "Yes, I do. God damn it, I do." And I
yep,
owned it. And actually,
yep.
then they were like, "Oh, all right." And they didn't give a shit. I used to wear the WenMint hoodie all the time to work at the shop. They just all knew. I think it is starting to get more accepted, right, than it
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
few years ago.
yeah,
But
for sure. And I'm glad about that too, because it. I'm tired of being in the shadows.
hell yeah. And especially, I mean, look at this. Like this man does not deserve to be in the shadows, right? Top hat, fantastic glasses, fucking sandals. Like if you're wearing a top
Yeah,
hat and sandals, you've made it.
yeah.
Honestly, I just got to say, it's
A lot of people have been giving me shit about that, but at the same time, like,
fuck it.
listen, originally I am from North Carolina, and you could wear sandals pretty much 10 months out of the year there, and so that's what we did.
That's fair.
Um, and I'm the most comfortable when my feet are very open and as close to the sand as they possibly can get. And so for me, sandals is just
It's the way to go.
that's my
Listen.
everyday shoe, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a lifestyle, man. Hey, I lived in Wrightsville Beach in North Carolina
Oh,
for a while,
there you
right by
go. Yeah.
Wilmington. Hell,
Yeah.
it was fucking great, right on the intercoastal.
Right there. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Got engaged in Wilmington.
Oh, there you go. I got arrested in Wilmington.
Hey,
Yep, about the same thing, right?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
just kidding.
Fine line separates the two.
But yeah, good times, man. All right, so this is all awesome, man. I just, this was great. Thank you for everything you've done also, because this is huge. Right? Like to get something like this, like, yeah, it's good for the Ape Society. It's good for Apes on Canvas to have that in Charles's office, but it's just good for Cardano NFTs as a whole, right? Because it
What?
shows that Charles sees it, right? He takes the NFT space seriously.
Yeah.
It's nice that it's this project, but it helps everybody.
Right. And that's how we've looked at everything at Apes on Canvas. Like, yes, it's primarily about the Ape Society because that's where it started and that's where most of my customers are. But this is literally for the furtherance of NFTs in general. Like
Right.
that's why I don't have any barriers on it. Whatever project, whatever chain, doesn't matter. Like for me, this is a way of like normalizing and helping people to appreciate their NFT in ways that they might not otherwise could be able to do. Like, you look at a screen all day and that's great, but it does not have the same semblance of having something like on your wall. So we really try to take that mission seriously to try to help people like live out their NFTs and appreciate it through the medium of fine art, and that's why we try to do it like that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
look
so
at these. That's fucking fantastic, man.
yeah, yeah, I really like. So I mean, I get to know these paintings very well throughout throughout their lifespan of their creation. So I'm very like, you know, I know them, from creation on. But it's great for me to be able to see how other people like receive them and how they display them and how they use them in their own decor. And so it's really cool for me to be able to see how other people do that, because it kind of helps make you realize like it's not just something that you do as a job or like as a side gig or whatever. Like this has real meaning to people. And I've always believed that, but again, when you just get to see it, it just kind of helps reinforce that.
Hell yeah. And here's that packaging we were talking about, right? It's a lot more than brown paper and a wax seal and some velvet, right? Look at this. Like the
And I
letter,
actually messed that
everything.
one up.
Really?
Like I actually messed that one up because that was one of the first minis that we did. So it was a new size for me, and I wasn't used to working with something, of those dimensions. And so my paper was way too big, and so so I actually messed that one way up. But they're usually a lot cleaner than that. But yeah,
Hell yeah. So this is that one right there. I mean, even the
yep.
minis, right? That thing's awesome. If you don't have room for a giant picture, like I get it. I got some stuff from Danielle Weber in here. She's an artist over on ETH and in the real world, and something from someone else. And sometimes you run out of space, right? But something like this you can fit anywhere.
Yep.
And still looks fucking great.
Yep. So we liked that one a lot. We really thought those would be a great selling point. They're 8 by 10, and they really do fit a lot more compactly, if you're limited space wise. Although the supplier I use for my frames kind of switched it up, and they used to be a lot thinner than that, but since I've ordered them, they actually came in the same thickness as the big frames, just on a smaller compacted scale.
Oh,
So
really?
so you're getting it actually looks like you're getting a much fatter, thicker frame when you order a mini. Like the frame to painting ratio is a lot bigger. So it looks like you're just like dripping in gold when you order a mini. It's kind of funny.
Hell yeah. And here's an example of the Mallard order, right?
Yeah, yeah, there you
Now,
go.
with the backgrounds, right? Was this the NFT background, or can people ask for a different background?
Yep. So initially I tried to keep it as specific to the NFT as possible. Because a lot of times, at least with the apes, if you changed a background or if you added a dagger in the mouth and your guy didn't normally have a dagger, you could
Right.
potentially be using someone else's NFT at that point. Because a lot, like a lot of these traits are similar. So if we started like adding things that weren't in the original NFT, then I felt like we could be, potentially infringing on some property rights or whatever.
Fair.
So initially I was like, no, it's got to be exactly what you have. But if it's something custom that's like totally not related to the NFT at all, and there's no chance that it's going to like infringe on anybody else's property rights or whatnot, then yeah, there's no problem. We can do whatever you want. And I've since done that with apes, where people have put their apes like in the amphitheater, or I had someone who wanted their ape like mounted on a horse riding down a mountainside or whatever. So
Oh,
we were
that's
able to do that
fucking
too.
cool. Hell yeah.
But this actually is the original NFT, even with that pyramid background.
Oh, and look at the detail on this. Like this really is no fucking joke, man. And anybody, you could all check this out. Look as close as you can. All you're gonna see is quality. I mean, look at that. I can't get over the frames. Like those frames are fucking really impressive, my friend. They really are.
We appreciate that. We think that they kind of make everything pop, and that's what I tell people too. Like depending on where you hang this thing, if there's going to be any natural light in that room whatsoever, then look at your painting at different times during the day, because depending on how much light is in the room at any given time, that thing is going to look completely different just based on the way that it reflects the light. Gold is funny that way, but yeah, it's really cool.
Hell yeah. Is that you right there?
Yep, that's me. That's my guy.
Hell yeah. Look at him.
In a
You guys
borrowed
you
frame.
do look alike. Do you have the earring?
No. You got the
Ah,
earbud, but no earring.
slipping. It's all right. I heard you
Yeah,
did A-Songs as well. DeFi just jumped in and said, great job with A-Songs Croc. I think I saw that on X.
yeah. He was he'd been hitting me up for a while. Just asking me like, well, what do you think would look better? Like, we should try this, we should try that. And I'm like, hey man, it's up to you. And eventually he did pull the trigger. I did kind of steer him towards the black back, because he was going to do like a green background with the gold croc, and I was like, I
Right.
think it would look better with a black background, and so he
Hell
did
yeah.
it in black, and I'm glad he chose that, because I
Oh
think it looks
shit.
phenomenal. Yeah, there's the one on
There-
the horse.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, this is fantastic. So pretty much, people, what you've learned is you need an apes on canvas, and it doesn't have to be an ape on canvas. It could be a cat on canvas. It could be a seal on canvas, a duck on canvas, a croc on canvas. Pretty much anything you want
A wedding
on
photo.
canvas. A wedding photo on canvas, right? AI on canvas. But you do have to go to apesoncanvas.io if you want to check this out. And here it is right here. So don't forget. All right. Well, what are your plans for the future, right? Because the paintings are good, the frames are fantastic, and you could probably really turn this into something. Just with that, it already is something. Everyone that has them loves them, and that's the first obstacle, right? Is quality and customer satisfaction, right? You're getting it out there, you're marketing, but I think you have some merch coming around the corner too, correct?
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna have some merch coming out, and again, that's just a way to show brand appreciation. So if you like what we do, if you like your painting, grab some merch. We're gonna start with some hoodies, probably. Excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, but we're gonna start with some hoodies. I want to do some shirts, some active wear, some UV shirts. The SPF kind that kind of keep you nice and protected from the sun. Gonna do well, that's the majority of that at this point. Some hats, some beanies, whatnot. But that's just merch. Everybody's got a couple of things that they like to sell, just to kind of help with the process. And like I said, we don't do we don't make a lot of money off the frames and the
Right.
paintings themselves. So this is just a nice way to kind of help bring some semblance of profitability back into the equation. But that's all small fries, because honestly, like, the big thing that we're trying to do is I want to create a community where if you like your NFT, if you like crypto, if you like art, if you like those two things, you probably want to be around like-minded people. So we are going to try to create a community that does in real life things together. And I don't want them to be small things. I want to do big, real life, elite level events that you probably don't normally do on any given occasion. Like, you don't just say, well, let's go do X, Y, or Z, like it's just a weekend getaway or whatever. Like, these are going to be like top tier, like once in a lifetime kind of events. And the way that I'm hoping is that, we'll generate some profit from these frames, and we're just going to turn it right back into the actual community and create these events. So, like, just for example, because it's the first one we're ever doing, excuse me, I wanted to do the Monaco Grand Prix.
I
So
saw
we are
something
going to,
about that right in the
yeah,
Discord.
yeah. So we're going to go over there, not as a whole community, but because obviously, like, not everybody can afford to do that. But what we wanted to do was just go ahead and give away 2 tickets to come watch the Monaco Grand Prix. So that's what we've done. And not just watch it. Like, we we went way over the top,
Yeah, you did.
and got some tickets to get on a 26-meter yacht that's going to be right there trackside. That's basically like 3,300 euros a ticket. So we bought 2 extra tickets, and we're just giving them away. If you are a canvas holder, well, for this particular event, it was basically to give thanks to those who bought my discount tickets, because that was the original like way to drum up some starting liquidity, some starting capital.
Right.
I minted these discount tickets where, they would cost like 99 ADA, or like, can't remember how much sock it was at the time, but like, if you minted in either one of those denominations, then that gave me the initial starting capital to purchase the gold, the frames, and everything else. So one of the ways that I was trying to generate hype around it was to say, okay, at the end of the year, we're going to have a giveaway, and each one of these discount tickets is going to double as like a little raffle ticket kind of thing. So hold on to your ticket, and each one has a number on it. There was only 500 ever minted, but I think only half ever minted. So there was only like 250 tickets. So you had a 1 out of 250 chance of winning these two tickets to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Hell yeah. And there's a rare Evo ticket
Yeah, right.
giveaway. Didn't someone win, and there's another one going on?
Yep. So as a way to try to get people to join my Discord, which we just launched, by the way, like we were never big enough to have a Discord before, but I think we're getting to that point where it's kind of nice to have everything organized under one roof. But as a way to generate hype around the Discord itself, like whether you have a canvas or not, it doesn't matter. I want you to be there. I want you to see what we're doing. I want you to come along for the journey. So as a way to, again, like, tried to incentivize people to join the Discord, I wanted to give away a Rare Evo VIP ticket. So I gave away one to just a general member. But now that I've sort of figured out how to like do gatekeeping or permission gated channels in there, now I'm going to give away another one to people who actually hold a canvas. So
Yeah.
and that's kind of like I said, moving forward, that's kind of how it's going to be. If you have the role of canvas holder, now you're going to be eligible for all these giveaways. And, like I want to do, yeah, sporting events are cool and stuff. But I want to do like the big ones. Like I've always wanted to go do like the Wimbledon championships and stuff like
That would
that.
be fucking cool.
Can't you imagine like just 6 of us sitting there in our top hats and stuff, and, like they're knocking balls back and forth, and we're just sitting there in our white gloves, just,
Right.
giving them little golf claps or whatnot.
That
like
would be fantastic.
eating our little cucumber sandwiches. Dude, I feel like that's like luxurious and elite as hell. Like we would look good doing that,
Hell yeah. On a different fucking level. They'd be like, who the fuck are those guys?
Right.
Everyone would want to know.
And we just act like we belong. Like we just act like we're there, like this is just what we do.
If anyone belongs, it would be you guys. They just don't know it yet, right? They're the little people. And right here in the live chat on YouTube, I did throw a link to the Discord. So check that out. It's up on the screen here. If you can remember all those letters and numbers, you can go that way too. But there you go. So I don't know, man. This has been a ton of fun. I can't wait to see where all this goes. And it's great that you're taking care of the community as well. What about minis? How does that work? So if you have a mini, do you get the same role as getting a regular picture?
Great question. And there's been a lot of questions about this, but no, you don't, because minis are like half the size of a regular canvas. And they don't cost anywhere near as much. They're actually less than half the original price. So it doesn't make sense to give mini holders the same kind of perks as actual canvas holders, because canvas holders spent more than twice as much money. But what I am doing is saying, well, if you have 2 minis, right? Like if you order 2 minis, you can basically turn in, because each one is going to come with a certificate of authenticity as an NFT. So you just turn those 2 NFTs back into me. I'll burn them. I'll reissue you a certificate of authenticity under the same policy ID as the original canvas holders. So now you will be eligible for all those giveaways since you've ordered 2 minis.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, it's a good way to do it, right? Cool. I love it, man. Is there anything else before we jet? Because I know we were only going to talk for like 20 minutes, and now we've been going for damn near an hour, which is great. Like, I got no issues with that, but I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got people working down there. You probably got to get back to work laying some gold leaf. So what do you think is like a final call to arms, maybe for someone that's heard about Apes on Canvas, but didn't realize the scope of what you're doing, and that they can get absolutely anything done?
Yeah, I would just say, like, if you like NFTs and you got your forever NFT that you're never going to sell, or if you just have an NFT that you just love the art. I've had someone actually commission an NFT painting that they then that they had already sold. They were like, but I just love that NFT so much. Like, even though I sold
Right.
it, I mean, I had to, like, there was just too much profit to be made by selling it, so I had to take profit. And again, like, no sell shaming here. Like, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Um, so he was like, yeah, I really love that NFT. Can you just paint it for me anyway? And I was like, let me just check with the guy who owns it now, and if he's cool with it, sure. So that's what
Hell
we
yeah.
did. And so like, as long as you have permission to commission a painting, of an image that you own, or have permission to get it done, then we can do it. And so that's what I would say. Like, if you're interested at all in that, join the Discord, talk to some of the current canvas holders, and yeah, just like see what we're all about. And we really hope to do the in real life things. Rare Evo has become kind of like our main get together. Most people can attend that. It's relatively cheap to go to. I think general admission tickets aren't too bad. But we give away the VIP tickets because that's how we do.
Fucking apes
Um,
on canvas, of course. Come on. Yeah.
we kind of have to. I mean, it's in the name. Um, so yeah, like, so that's our main thing. But also, like, we want to. I don't want to say we want to be like an adventure club, but kind of sorta. I mean, we want to go and like do things. We want to like go to different like art galleries, or like go see like the Metropolitan Museum of Art or something. Like, just do some like big fancy things that people who love NFTs, who love art, who see the blending of Web 2 and Web 3 coming together. And just, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just trying to like bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 art appreciators and NFT enthusiasts. That's basically it.
Hell yeah. Well, you're doing a damn good job at it already. And you're making everyone super fucking happy. So keep it up, man. This is great. I want to get one of these once I can afford it. I got bills to pay. And now that I switched
There you
jobs,
go.
I got a week. That's the worst thing about switching jobs. Yeah, they might pay you more at the next job, but then you have that 2 or 3 weeks, right, without a paycheck when you're
Where you
waiting.
got nothing, yeah.
Ugh, oh
Yep.
Jesus. But yeah, just for the unboxing part of it, like, it's a whole experience, right? Apes
Yep.
on Canvas. And it's great to hear that beyond just that unboxing experience, there's going to be even more in the future for your lucky holders. So thanks again, Carver. I can't wait to see where this is at in 6 months, a year, 2 years. Are you going to be at NFT XLV as well?
I don't know. Because again, I just do this part-time. I got a full-time job as well. And beyond that, I got these two girls that I got to watch when my wife is at work. So, uh,
Well, you don't just put them to
maybe,
work in the basement? I mean, you have a lock on the basement door, don't you?
I
They're
actually,
good.
I
They're good.
actually did get the 4-year-old to prime a few of these frames once,
Oh,
but the
wow.
priming, it's a primer slash sealer combo. So it's thick and sticky,
Oh,
uh,
boy.
and she got it kind of everywhere. And it was also happened to be right before we did our Christmas pictures, and so my wife was not happy at all about that. She said they're no longer allowed to do anything related to to canvases. I said, all right, that's fair.
Stifling the creativity. It's all right.
I'm telling you,
It's all right.
telling you.
That's pretty cool. Do they have NFTs yet? Well, my daughter, even when she was a little bit younger, she has a wallet now that I have for her, but she's got some stuff in there. Are you starting to build up stuff for them or teaching them about it at all?
Sort of. We're going, so like, what I'm trying to do with them instead is get them more involved in like the creative, like, social media stuff, where like the hype, so like I do the hype videos. I want them to
Right.
get more involved with like um doing like the design of it, or like helping in the filming of it, and like letting their creativity come out in that way. Because we got them some like mini like children's digital cameras for Christmas, and they're always snapping photos, always asking for my phone so that they can take videos and stuff. And it's kind of funny, but that's how I try to encourage them with that. I think that there's going to be like a lot more options for them, like with that, in the immediate future.
Hell yeah.
Teaching them about crypto at this point is probably a little futile. I mean, they're pretty young, but
Right. Yeah, true. True.
But yeah, like no, I have definitely wanted to like get them each their own wallet and maybe start them out with some clays or something. Because I could find like traits that actually look like them within the
Oh, that's a
within the
good
clay
point.
universe.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Be like,
but
"That's you, go play in sandbox," right? Take
Right,
your
right,
time.
exactly. So we might get there. Hopefully, I can scoop some for them before they get out of hand. But like I said, like pretty much all my spare capital is getting reinvested right into this project, which kind of sucks because it's limited my degen side a little bit. Now I got to be like this responsible business guy.
Oh
Um,
boy. Well,
yeah, yeah,
hopefully that doesn't last too long. But
yeah,
you
yeah.
at least you
Hopefully,
still got a top hat, right?
right, right. Got
If
the
you
top
have a
hat.
top hat and you have sandals or no shoes, right? Hopefully you're at least wearing pants right now. But even if you're not, right, you got to let your inner degen just kind of spill out sometimes in search of a better term.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
it's just kind of like that lull, that calm before the storm. I kind of feel
Oh
like we're
yeah.
right there where the bull market's about to come back, and we're all just kind of anticipating it. And because of that, we're just all kind of like pinching our pennies a little bit and just saying like, we just don't know what's going to happen. Like
That's a fact.
so. I
Hey, and
kind
I
of feel like
feel you,
that's where we
man.
all are.
I've been building this thing for years, right? Over 10,000 streams on just Spotify alone. It's on every other podcast platform as well. And nobody knows this yet. I haven't said it yet. I probably shouldn't, but I'll say something about it in a
Alpha.
couple weeks. I've been talking to Hulu. And there's a very good chance, already accepted, but there's a very good chance you might be seeing something WenMint kind of sort of on Hulu when you're sitting watching TV with the family in the near future. So well,
Okay.
we'll see. It's pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, so it's pretty fucking cool, man. I was kind of surprised when it happened. I was like, "Are you sure? Like, have you seen this? Like, do you know who I am?" And they were with it. So I'm like, "All right,
Dude,
cool.
that's awesome, man.
Hell yeah."
That's
So
incredible.
we'll see where it goes. But yeah, more to come on that. But with that, before I say anything else, it's going to get me in trouble because I shouldn't even fucking said that. We should probably get out of here. So don't forget, people, apesoncanvas.io for the best goddamn art on Cardano or ETH or Polygon or just the real world in general because they're apes and they're on canvas and they wear top hats and sandals and there's gold, real gold that he puts on himself and you might even get a fingerprint on the frame, which is great because then if there's ever a murder in a house with an apes on canvas on the wall, they'll be like, "Oh, we found a print. We know who it is. Who's this? Who's this Carver character?" Uh,
I joke that that I can get framed a lot because I frame
Whoa,
the paintings.
I like it. Ba-ding, ba-da-ba. I got to get some sound effects on this. I could do it. I don't know. I got to stop slacking. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's new. Yes, we're on X and YouTube, but within 24 hours, this episode will also be available in video on Spotify and YouTube Music and on every other major podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, I already said Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. There's like 15 or 20 of them. It's nuts. So make sure if you are watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give me a star rating, right? At least 4 stars because I combed my hair today. It really means the world to me. And Carver, thanks again for hanging out, man. Anytime you want to come back, let me know. I want to see some of this merch when it's ready to go.
I, you're gonna get blown away. I feel like our merch is gonna be next level.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. Well, I'm going to kick all these people out of here, but I'll see you in 1 second, my friend. Everybody, have an awesome weekend. Stay safe. And, well, it's apes on canvas. So stay classy, Cardano.